We are the dollars and cents.
All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to do another unboxing, first impressions, and update video, and possibly maybe a cheap but good fragrance. I did find this fragrance for $35.99 for a 100 ml tester. That's a pretty good price for a 100 ml tester. That's a giant bottle of this juice. I did hear a couple of good things about this fragrance, so I'm hoping that it is they're right about this fragrance, because if it's really, really good, 100 mil, 36 bucks, pretty good deal. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it's going to be from the house of Jimmy Choo. It is Urban Hero Gold Edition. Did find this fragrance at Marshall's. This is a 50 ml bottle, and I got it for $36.99, if you guys can see that there. But yeah, I've never heard about this fragrance. Now, I did have a little bit of experience with this line. I did try the original Urban Hero that came out last year, 2 years ago. Wasn't a big fan of that fragrance. I can't remember exactly how it all started out. I remember saying the opening was okay, but I remember it ended up getting some kind of barnyard type of smell to it that I wasn't a big fan of. It was kind of earthy and vetivery and just had like a barnyard smell. Don't know, again, where that came from. I just know that my nose was turned off to it, so I wasn't a big fan of that one. But saw this one, and while I was in the store, did briefly and quickly pull it up on my phone and just give it a quick little once over. Looked at the notes. It's like, all right, sounds like the composition is going to be a bit different than the original. I'll have to compare those. I'll maybe, let you guys know in the second half of the video, because I didn't get a chance to write them down. But from going off of memory, I want to say that this looked way different than the original composition. So this might just be them just using the name of the Urban Hero flanker or the fragrance and just call it the Gold Edition. Anyway, so Urban Hero Gold Edition is a men's woody, fruity fragrance released in 2021. It is from the house of Jimmy Choo. The nose behind this fragrance is Juliet Caraguziglau. It is an eau de parfum concentration. All right, so we'll briefly go over the presentation real quick. As you can see, there's not too much going on with this box. Just black up here, gold over here. Has like the spray paint looking tagger thing. Yeah, so that's the box. Here is the bottle. I think it does remind me of the original bottle, but I want to say that it was silver instead of black, but it still had kind of basically the same look. This has a crosshatch, or maybe just some lines in here in the cap. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, as it is all black. Black atomizer. Good hand feel for the bottle, so I do like the way this bottle feels in my hand. Feels nice and good grip on there. It has nice little shoulders here for your fingers to rest on. So that's nice. Other than that, not too much going on with this presentation. The notes for this fragrance in the top, we have pineapple and blood orange. In the mid, we have tonka bean and lavender. And in the base, run things off with sandalwood and oak moss. And that's about it. Pretty basic note breakdown here. But like I said, I did look at a couple of comments on this one. People were really raving about this one, saying that it's has really good performance and it's a steal for the price that it is, and it's kind of a hidden gem. So looking forward to trying this one. I'll let you guys know if it is a hidden gem or not, because I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be good for cooler weather, so we'll see. And it's cool/cold outside, so it'd be great to wear this one this evening and over the next few days. But let's give this fragrance a first impression, guys. Clean hand as always. Pop off this heavy metal cap here with the little lines in it. Couple of sprays. Here we go. Good sprayer. A lot of juice. Okay. Kind of getting a dime a dozen feel with this one already. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say this reminds me of Invictus, but it sort of does. It has a little bit of the Bad Boy opening. This has a lot of the lavender. I'm getting the fruity notes on top. I'm getting the tonka bean. This immediately reminds me of something else. I can't remember if it was one of those wanted fragrances or if it was the opening for Bad Boy. But I will say right now, this is nothing new. Unfortunately, does it smell good? Yes, this smells very good. It's very fruity. It's a little nutty from the tonka bean. It's got a lot of the lavender in there. It has that mainstream smell to it. It's a little bit woody. Not so much the oak moss right now. But it's it's a fruity, woody fragrance, like the classification says. Yeah, honestly, this isn't going to take a long time to really go over. If I even do a update for this one, it's going to be very brief, unless it just completely changes. But Right now, this fragrance does remind me of so many others. It almost smells like there's some mint in this. It's a little bit minty, but right now it's just citrusy, a little bit fruity. I'm getting more citrus than pineapple. I'm not getting like an Aventus, nothing like Aventus by any means. I'm getting a citrusy, slightly oak mossy, lavender. So that smell that lavender brings to the table. So I think what this reminds me of is going to be, yes, like Invictus or Invictus Aqua, or namely right now, I'm going to say it reminds me, and I said this last time, literally a few videos back about another fragrance, but this one does have the same DNA as like the Icon Racing Green or the House of Sillage number 4, just that mainstream feel. Now, House of Sillage number 4 is my favorite of all of the fragrances out there that actually have that sort of smell. That mainstream Invictus. But this one right now smells more like that one, honestly. Because that one is a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker, almost has a little bit of that minty note that I detect in this one, but there's no mint in this. I'm just saying it's something about this DNA or this composition gives it a bit of a minty feel. But I will say this does smell really, really nice. We'll have to, again, I want to make a full video for this one. I already started it. I don't want to just end it right now and just say, okay, just don't even bother with it, because I think this one does have some potential. There is some caveats, and I'll get to those in the second half of the video. But I will say this is probably going to be a quick turnaround. So right now it's Sunday, watching the Cowboys destroy the Vikings. And so we'll see. It might be the next day. It might be 2 days before I usually I'd like to take 3 or sometimes even longer than that if I can't really get a good feel for a fragrance. But this one, I have a feeling it's going to be a quick turnaround. This is an eau de parfum. This might be a better version of those, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give a little bit of hopium here. Trying to give you guys a little bit of hopium out there that this one's going to be worth it. But 100 mil for $35.99 for this one, we'll see. If the performance is there and it does a better job than those ones that I mentioned, then you might have to just get rid of those and get yourself this one. We'll see. But time will tell. I'm going to wear this fragrance tonight and over the next couple of days and give you guys an update shortly. Talk to you then. All right, guys, just want to bring you guys a quick update on the Jimmy Choo Urban Hero Gold Edition. Wore this fragrance a few times. Got a very good feel for it. I like this fragrance, but I will say that it does remind me of a lot of others. I already mentioned that in the first half of the video, but I did find the ones that it reminded me of. I know for sure it reminded me of my House of Sillage number 4. It also reminded me of Davidoff's Run Wild, which is... has a lot of different notes in it, but it kind of has the same opening. And if you want to throw Invictus Aqua or Invictus in there, this one does have that same feel for it. So we're not really breaking any, breaking any barriers. We're not really, we don't have anything new here with this fragrance, but it's still good. I guess the only factors are going to be like if it's worth, I think I mentioned like 100 mil was like $35.99, right? So if you could find this type of fragrance for $36 for 100 mil, but this is cheaper than those other ones, which I think Run Wild is pretty cheap. This is 100 mil. I think I got this for like 20 bucks. So I don't know, but you have to try them side by side. If you've tried this one, it smells similar to this one. This one's just, I think it has a lot more, I don't know. It's very, very sweet. I don't know where from, because again, there's no vanilla in this, but there's a vanilla in the base. Anyway, starts off with that pineapple, blood orange, citrusy. We've all been there. The lavender's the main player, so you guys know what you get from that. Again, it just smells like a lot of these typical fragrances. But I did like the performance. We'll get to that in a minute, but the performance is better than some of these other ones that I named. Maybe not the House of Sillage number 4. And the dry down, you do get like a sweet, almost vanilla type of dry down. It's like warm, spicy, but somehow, some way, that pineapple hangs around till the dry down. At least I got it on a couple of times I wore this fragrance. Not going to say it smells like Aventus, but it gave me a bit of the musky, even though there's no musk in this that I can see. It gave me a little bit of that musky sort of pineapple-y dry down that you get from Aventus. I'm not going to say it smells like it. I'm just saying the dry down was kind of sweet and musky, sort of like that. Even though there's no musk in this, I'm saying it just sort of had that feel to it. So I was kind of happy to see that pineapple note stuck around till the end. It was nice and fruity. But overall, you're not really getting anything new with this fragrance. Again, it's going to come down to, what the performance and stuff. We'll get to that now, but the longevity of this fragrance, 8 hours every time I wore this fragrance, which is great. Again, for 100 mil, $35.99 tester, and this lasted me 8 hours every time I wore it. That's great. Projection, not a beast, okay? It's going to get you noticed. You get decent wafts from this one, but it's not a beast by any means. This is eau de parfum, so it's going to be, I guess, average for, it's going to be on the regular average, the standard EDP, because 8 hours and you get decent wafts, but it's not like going to fill up a room, is pretty standard when it comes to an EDP. So you're linking on pretty safe territory with this fragrance. Seasons, if you guys haven't guessed already, it's going to be the cooler, colder months of the year. This one isn't like super thick and heavy, but it's thick and sweet, and it's fruity. So, you might be able to get away with it like on a warm, cooler evening, maybe, but I'm going to guess it's just going to be the cooler, colder months of the year. That's just my opinion. Very sweet, very fruity, tonka bean. You can't go wrong with that. The sandalwood in the base. But the occasions, evening wear, this one's in a black bottle for a reason. I do think this would be best for evening wear, date night. I think the ladies are going to like this fragrance. Dress down, suit and tie. I always say the same categories when it comes to evening wear. Just wear this one at night. Might be strong enough for a club. The atomizer is fantastic on this, so you should be able to spray on quite a bit of juice with this one before you go to the club. I think this one should be able to cut through the smoke, the sweetness of this one. Ages, I'm going to say, are probably 20 and up, even though it's young enough for, cheap enough for the young guys to afford this one. I think 20 and up could safely pull this one off. Although I don't think this one is going to be too challenging for anyone. I mean, I can't find any notes in this that are going to really, turn any younger guys off. But I just will say 20 and up, just to kind of put it there. Not too young, not too old. Overall, I do think this is a good fragrance. I think it's a cheap but good fragrance at $36 for a 100 ml tester. If you like those fragrances that I mentioned, it reminds me of, but you've since moved past them, they're not in your collection anymore, and you're trying to maybe revisit something that's a little bit stronger than those, better performance for a good price, then you might want to try this one. This does not, in my opinion, smell like the original Urban Hero. So if you didn't like that fragrance, you're gonna be happy, because this does not have, to my nose, that one smelled like barnyard. Had a kind of a good opening, I think, but then it just kind of turned into like a barnyard type of smell, which is really weird, because I didn't expect that fragrance to really go there. This fragrance definitely does its own thing in a sense to where it doesn't smell like the Urban Hero. I would never think this was a flanker. The only reason why I would say it's a flanker is when they gave it the name and they gave it the same bottle minus the black on here. So this could be its own fragrance in a completely different bottle, but for the price, you can't beat it. I tend to say, that fragrances like this, maybe $25, but I think with the performance, and it's an EDP, and it's stronger than the other ones that I mentioned, if you like those, I think this is a cheap but good fragrance at that price. Find it for any more than that, do not get it. I want to say this was like, I think I can't remember what the first half of the video said, but maybe $25 for the 50 mil here. Not a terrible price, but if I can get double the juice for $10 more, or $11 more, then I'll probably do that. But this is not a bad fragrance. I think if you see this fragrance at Marshall's, maybe pull the trigger on it. Again, I always say they're really cool about you taking stuff back as long as you don't use too much of the juice. Just, maybe test it at home. If you like it, keep it. But I do think this is a decent fragrance. Again, we're not, this is nothing new. It's been done before. If you tried those and you didn't like them, you're not going to want to try this one. But if you like that DNA, but again, you've moved past and you sold your bottles and you want to try something a little bit better performance, you're going to want to try Jimmy Choo's Urban Hero Gold Edition. Guys, what are your thoughts on this fragrance? Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about this one, because I did like it. Again, it's not anything new, but it's a good, decent fragrance, I guess, for the cost. And the fact that it's pretty decently new, 2021, and I never even heard about it. So thank you guys so much for watching another video on my channel. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications for future first impressions videos and for exciting content just like this, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dollars and Cents. There, you'll find first edited photos and future contest winners. And as always, till next video, you guys take care. Thanks.